And the European Parliament in Brussels is expected to hold a debate on fundamental freedoms, human rights and democracy in Turkey. The debate comes a day after the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe voted in favour of reopening monitoring procedures in Turkey. Jack Parrock is in Brussels and joins us now live. Hello to you, Jack. So what can we expect to come out of this debate?
Well, Kamali, what we're going to see is the EU's foreign policy chief, Federica Mogherini. She's going to give a speech to the European Parliament, as is Johannes Hahn, who's the European Commissioner responsible for enlargement, essentially. And the issue is focusing on this referendum in Turkey, which gave the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan a lot more power. That obviously happened a couple of weeks ago, but it's caused a bit of a stir and some significant condemnation from many political figures in the European Union. Now, we'll have to wait and see whether these arrests, the 1,000-odd arrests that happened in Turkey today, are also discussed. That's something that we expect perhaps might come up, bearing in mind that the European Parliament is a very fierce house of debate and often very strong statements come out from the MEPs. On that note, one of the leading MEPs on relations between Turkey and the European Union, a woman named Katy Perry, she has been calling for the European Union to officially end negotiations between Turkey and the EU on Turkey's accession to join the European Union. And we heard Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan also speak about this issue in recent days, saying that Turkey would not wait forever to become an EU member. So the relations really on this specific issue do look like it's going to get complicated over the referendum result. Here in Brussels and pretty broadly across the European Union, the result has not gone down too well.
So, Jack, are we about to see a massive changing in relationship between the EU and Turkey going forward?
Well, I don't know too much about that, especially on this accession issue. Basically, on both sides, from the European side and the Turkish side, most observers see that Turkish accession to the European Union hasn't really had that much support from either side, and that both sides have just kind of continued to pay lip service to the idea. But also it's important to remember that the European Union and Turkey are relying on one another currently to uphold the EU-Turkey deal on migration, which has seen the number of people making their way from refugee camps in Turkey to enter the European Union through Greece significantly reduced as part of that deal. And as we enter into the summer months, the European Union is going to be very keen to keep it that way, with the Mediterranean waters calming and the fear that smugglers might try and increase that. On EU-Turkey relations, it's important to remember in this accession process that the UK has always been the most in favour of Turkey's accession to join the European Union, and with Brexit now, that looks like something that support will be removed. So it's going to be interesting to hear what the European Commission High Rep Federica Mogherini has to say about this whole issue. We are entering now into new waters as far as the EU-Turkey relationship goes.
Absolutely. We wait to see what comes out of that meeting. Jack in Brussels, thank you.